really didn't expect this. This vehicle here is a big surprise to me, especially on the interior. You really have to see this, and also to discover more secrets about this vehicle here with me together on Autogefühl in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the Citroen C5 Aircross, new generation, and also a new styling with this new Citroen design language. A logo that is now more retro inspired, definitely. Platinum gray is this color for today, and interesting daytime running light with horizontal elements, but also these two blocks. The main headlamp unit is right here then. And these are also the optional matrix LED main headlamps. So a fresh look already on the exterior, but I can tell you, the interior will be even more surprising, as I already teased. The length here is 4.65 m or 183 inches, a more upright building style. This is also 15 centimeters or 6 inches longer than the predecessor, so a significant gain in length. Wheels start 18-inch. 19-inch always standard for plug-in and EV, and these are optional 20-inch wheels in black, the most attractive styling, so to speak. But we'll see how it is about the comfort. And speaking about the comfort, this car comes standard with the special Citroen suspension with hydraulic cushions, so that you have a little bit more than just a standard steel suspension. This will be very, very interesting indeed. We also can get this dual tone scheme, so you have a black roof then here in this case, and this one here is the plug-in hybrid. So more to that, there is a petrol version, plug-in hybrid, and also a fully electric version, so a lot of flexibility in the whole drivetrain choice. So more to that. What's really remarkable here on the rear is that you have these standing out elements on the left side. So I wonder if this was even legal crash test wise, but obviously it is. Almost looks like an airplane starting to lift off or something like that. Then I really like this white badging here, really large Aircross badging. You know, this lettering is new design trend here in the automotive industry, or something that came back actually. So it really has a standing out design, although it is a sister or brother model to the Peugeot 3008. And before we come to the engine details, look at this decoy element here in gold. I think it's fitting very well. And then I have this plectron here from Citroen. And I'm not playing the guitar now because I want to exchange it here with the, just black nose. And you can pick different things for that. There would also be, for example, a French tricolor available, like a French flag. This is also possible to set in there. So you can order different ones. And here you have to use this not to damage the car. Not sure if I would do it like 10 times or something like that. But this is the way then, this is the way that you can remove this here, without harm to the vehicle. But as I said, I would not do it like 10 times. If you want to keep these here somehow, probably you would do it once or so. And then you can exchange it here, for example, with a black element or with something else. Another one of these here is at the side here, lower door area. Then you can also exchange these parts here how you like it. And now, pulling it twice, we know that system from BMW. Let's see what's under the hood. So it would start with a 1.2 liter 3-cylinder mild hybrid engine. That's the entry level version. This one here is the next step. This is here the 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. Glad to have that. Plug-in hybrid, so this can be recharged from the outside. This one with 195 horsepower system output. You also have a data comment, and also in the video description there's the whole data collection about all different engine types. This one AC recharging with 3.7 or optional 7.4 kilowatt AC. You definitely need that option with a 7.4, right? Even that is not fast. Something to criticize here, a plug-in hybrid nowadays needs at least the 11 kilowatt AC charging, if not optional also 22 kilowatt or even a DC charging, because the battery is not too small, about 18 kilowatt hours net. So that's comparable even to like a BMW X3, Audi Q5, Mercedes GLC plug-in hybrid. So reasonable size, but too slow in charging. However, if you plug it in at home at the wall box overnight, it will still be fine. That's the most important thing. 8.3 seconds is the acceleration figure here for this one, and it is front-wheel drive. And then there are the fully electric versions one with a 73 kWh battery and a long-range version with a 97 kWh battery. So far all front-wheel drive. The Peugeot 3008, sister or brother model, or 5008, so there they also offer an all-wheel drive version, which came later after the launch. So we have to see if that one will also come here. Maybe not, because Peugeot is trimmed a little bit more to performance, Citroen a little bit more to comfort. So we have to see about that. So far, as I said, all front-wheel drive then here for this vehicle. I mean, the 97 kWh version is really a substantial battery size and for this vehicle size here. Yeah, but as I said, drivetrain-wise, you can really pick if you want the mild hybrid, pure petrol, plug-in hybrid, as we have it here, or then the fully electric one. Tell me in the comments, which one would you go for? Now to the interior. This is the key fob, standard Citroen Peugeot key fob as we know it for years actually. Then doors here, closing sound. Very solid indeed in the front. And solid in the rear. And you can see here they also go for this now frameless lower approach. We have seen it with some vehicles now, and I think it looks actually quite elegant. And hopefully some other guys think so as well. And here, inside of the doors, the top part is hard pack though. It is at least structured, but hard. But what I find good is that they have here an extensive fabric cover from the inside. This covers a very wide area here indeed. Then high gloss black use here at the inside door panel. However, what's cool is that we have a classic control here for adjusting the mirrors and the windows and so on. Inside here, this is hard pack. However, you see this sprinkles inside, and this is a material that has a 20% share of, let's say, waste wood from vineyard production. That's a very interesting thing. So that would just be burned or something like that, and they use that to replace some part of the plastic. So that's a good approach definitely, but I would also like to see something soft or covered there in that case. Then steering wheel here with the updated Citroen logo, left side also high gloss black. This is also this capacitive curse, so one button design, at least it gives some feedback. Classic controls and rather behind the steering wheel. Here also to click something through in the digital instruments. I like these fabric coverings here, and interesting that here this is like a speaker. It also says here like the, like the note and like the note key. So and there's a speaker from the inside. You can already feel that. Highlights definitely these seats. Look at that. I was actually really surprised to see something like this as a fabric, bright fabric here. Then these kind of decor elements we see on the outside, which you can change. They picked up this design scheme here. Then you have another detail in a darker gray, and then here these luxury pads, perforated leatherette, and is really soft, and it feels great both in the seating depth and also the material, which is a high-grade leatherette. This is the highest trim seats, and it's, by the way, also an animal-free material on the steering wheel. And also here, how it's processed, when you press it, you can really push it in there and it gives way a little bit. So I love this attention to detail. And in all versions, this car is also animal-free, yet they show that they can even improve the customer experience with that. Highest trim, leatherette inside, fabric outside. Mid-trim, fabric inside, leatherette outside. Lowest entry trim, full fabric. That's the logic. And then here with the panoramic roof, which is an option here, 1.89 meters, 6'2", still some headroom left, and steering wheel adjustment is manual, up and down, in and out. By the way, here just in our surroundings, see here this Seat Leon ST or Estate. Wide wheels are unique. Some love them. Some say it looks maybe cheap, but gotta say though, it's kind of guilty pleasure for me. I love it. Leah doesn't. She thinks it's over the top, but I somewhat have a thing for it. What do you think? Welcome here to this cockpit. It continues with this luxury approach. Citroen really wants to stand for comfort. This is the reason why they also introduced these special seats, and I can't get over it. They really look amazing, they feel amazing, and they're also indeed very comfortable. So big fan of these. Maybe at the later stage I can also take a look at the mid-trim or entry trim level seats. They would surely be also very interesting. Then also very appealing, Here, this white fabric use on the dashboard, that looks pretty cool. And also here, once again, attention to detail, it's not just the fabric cover. It's really, when you here, use your thumb or something and push it in, it's really a soft foam behind that. And I love that attention to detail. And these design elements here, these horizontal strips, again, used here also on the interior, then a horizontal stress here. Only the top dashboard, this is all hardpack, and I discovered something to improve here, like where the head-up display is cut in. Here, this part you can basically press here. Maybe it's an early version, maybe that's why, but if the Citroen product managers are watching, this is maybe something to improve or to fix in the factory, definitely. 10-inch digital instruments, zoom out to that, 13-inch in the infotainment. It has this vertical orientation, zoom out to that. Quick preview that we have the climate unit here, relatively large and accessible in the lower part. You know that I'm always a fan of the physical interface, like here we still have for the volume jog, so that's at least possible. And important to know, this here goes to vehicle functions. And the cool thing is when you press and hold that, then it automatically turns off the lane keeping assist and the excessive speed warning. EU speed chime law, blah, 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 beep, beep, beep. I'm not 100% sure if you have to set that first or if it's automatically programmed in, but you see that it's possible, and there's a very straightforward way because you have to, by law, always deactivate it with every new startup. So good that they introduced this feature also in this very vehicle. You see that this middle console is floating, and on top of that you can see you have the inductive charging pad for your phone. It's also ventilated. And then there's a cup holder, which is not adaptive here in the front. You can also take out this whole rubber pad, by the way, for cleaning. Then you will also see the fan behind it. Drive mode selector is here, especially for the plug-in hybrid. You can switch them between electric, pure electric driving, hybrid or sport, combining both drivetrains. Shifting is here, straightforward, backward, forward, and so on. Electric handbrake. Then here also a soft cover. It's also cool that they pay attention. It's really soft when you put your thumb in there, or then for the elbow. Split opening, some storage underneath, and the storage here is really deep, and I can also feel that deep in there. There is a cooling, like you can turn it. We also had it in a Peugeot 3008. You can turn it and you can directly feel the cold air flowing through. So I think it's a cool thing that you can store some cold drinks there, or maybe if you have some food items that need cooling for the road, then you can put them in there. Or if you were shopping and you maybe drive like 30 minutes to your home or something, it's a cool function definitely. And since we have this floating middle console, we have something underneath here. 2 USB-C chargers. They look USB-A-ish, but they are USB-C on the inside. And then here again, this recycling share material, which is actually pretty cool. I welcome that in contrast to just black plain plastic. And then you have more cup holders here. I also have a coffee cup sample here. They are also somewhat adaptive here, as you can see. However, you might argue that driving and then going down there, picking up your cup, and then I don't know if that's ideal. I'm not so sure about that. So maybe not the.
Maybe not for
yeah.
Stanley. Yeah.
I would, and for Lia's, no, she has like this Ovella. That's the other brand. Yeah. You know, like the girls who start to have like these. And they're also always like this mocking reels where they where the guys then use like a real trash can, like, this is my new drink holder, you know. Yeah, about that. So I think it's not the practical solution. You probably need your co-driver to assist you with your drinks down there then. But besides that, it's a really lovely interior. Yeah, maybe only that here this button in the lower part. It's once again, it's also this Mercedes logic, right? It's one button, but all the different button functionalities are on one thing. But at least, as I said, it's cool that you can press and hold one button and then all the beeping stuff is off. And the driver POV with the digital instruments. EV range, by the way, yeah, maybe 70, 80 kilometers, something like that. And then 135 kilometers now is the maximum electric speed, the only electric speed. Of course, it goes faster than that with the combustion engine. You can also change the styles, also with the map view. That's also possible. And then we also have a head-up display. It's always hard to pick it up on camera. It's not flickering on your real eye, by the way, but it's actually very, very large, larger than you would imagine. And some details to the infotainment. So far, the car internal GPS was not that well usable here, but now with the new C5 model, it actually is. I mean, it's even decently responsive and looks quite good. So you can also drive with the car internal GPS, that would be possible. And then they have this logic that the cooling of the seats on the right and the heating on the left, you have to get used to that, but yeah, that works. So cooled seats, ventilated, pretty nice, heated steering wheel, all available. And there is actually even more. So when you press a button, this menu appears and you can see you can pump up the side bolsters of the seat, like these, for a sportier driving experience, for example, or more open that is possible. There's even seat massage available. A cat paw massage can activate it here, and it was actually quite intensive, this cat paw massage. Very interesting. So yeah, I mean, just reaching it in the infotainment system, sometimes, like here, for example, you have the seat cooling here, and then you can adjust the levels right there. But then when you press here again, nothing happens. Then you have to decide between heating or cooling, and then you can press here again. Maybe there might be some better solutions for that. And maybe you still hear the cat paw massage going all the way here. So deactivating that now again. And Apple CarPlay, it's like here, nice integration also with that. And here in CarPlay, when you use Apple Maps, you can also have the Apple Maps in the digital instruments. That's actually quite cool. And what we can also try is, does it work with Waze as well? Yeah, that works as well. So that's actually quite cool. Just Google Maps. To put Google Maps on the left, there you need Android Auto, because yeah, that's this Google Apple fight. Rear seats, also interesting. Here, hardback once again at the top of the door, but then a wide fabric area. That's actually quite cool. Then this recycling material again here at the inside of the doors. There is a very interesting cover here for the ISOFIX. This looks also reappearing here with these zippers actually, and then you can leave them open if you frequently use the ISOFIX. It goes quite deep in there though. And also this special lever here, this is what you pull then for the cargo position of the seat. So I think I better show you that on the other side, because it's better visible here. So this is then the difference. So the cargo position, more upright, more trunk length in the upper area, or you can move it back again. And this is what you have to do from here. I'll soon show that to you again in the trunk. Really cool that also for the rear seats we have these very plush premium cushions here, this quilting so to speak, and this once again the high grade perforated leatherette, and it's really, you see here, it's really soft, adapts to the body. That's a lovely feature of this vehicle, definitely. Then here, middle part, the armrest folds down. It's somewhat adaptive also with these rubber pads, for example. So this also looks like a good build quality. We can also just fold down this middle part here as a ski hatch, so that would also be possible. Here in the lower part, in the top trim, we also have seat heating for the rear seats. We don't need that today. If you slide around here in the rear a little bit, by the way, if you hit it with your knees, then it all, you see here, this is like the shortcut. So swipe with your knee and then everything is activated on level 3, both at the same time. So yeah, these touch things always have something to them, right? Then we have two USB-C chargers here also in the lower parts. There we go, next to a 12-volt power supply, and offering of space here for the knee room as this recess here. Would be even more if I put the seat a little bit up, that works. And then headroom here with the version of the panoramic roof. Still headroom left. I can also put the head restraint here up, and the bench is actually not too high. I would expect it to be maybe a little bit higher. You see here for SUV, my feet are relatively high indeed, because this is also the vehicle that has the battery electric, the pure battery electric one, for example. And yeah, considering that, I would have expected the bench is also a little bit higher. Maybe would have been a little bit more comfortable. I'm not sure about that. Maybe it's a personal thing, but overall it's good comfort because of these soft cushions here and so on. For I think this one is a check that. And here the panoramic roof, you can even see it better from behind. The moment it's opened, and I can also close that here. So this is one that you can still actually open, which is kind of rare these days. It's an option even for the highest trim. Or is it included in the max trim? Maybe. It depends also on the market. And this is then here the shade also with a nice bright ceiling. This also makes this interior really light. So this light gray styling of the interior is really beautiful. And now to the trunk or the boot, 650 liters, electric hatch. And let's see what we can make use of that so that you can see everything better. Let's move this top part first. There we go. Now we have a nice visual on the trunk. Here this also fits in under the cover. And then we have 1.40 meters in width. The standard length here is about 93 centimeters, 36 inches. And here you can see this is the mentioned cargo position. So this is then a little bit more forward. This would be the more backward position. You can adjust it from the... Look at that. Here. Have you seen that? That's interesting, right? This is like the protection of this mechanism that you don't see like the metal hinge. This is like how it is folded. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, attention to detail. And then the height is a thing because it can be higher. Let me show you here. This cover here, I can lift it up. Then there is space underneath. For example, also for charging cable. Ah, yeah. Good point from Leah. Wait a minute. Like this. So I can also put it up like this and it holds so you have your hands free for that. So that's an intelligent solution here with these small clips at the side. They do that actually. And then I can also put it here in the lower position like this. So I can carry it around with me. And then the maximum height here is 31 inches or 80 centimeters. So well usable. To fold the seats completely, well, when the cover is out here, I can also reach over and then fold them like this. Also when, what does it do when they are in the cargo position though? Let's see. Ah, that works. Yeah, interesting. So of course, in this case, there is a step, but if I put it then in the higher position again, like this, then we have the even transition and then the length to the front seats is 1.73 meters or 68 inches. And that is really decent. And yeah, there you can once again see here the difference between when this hinge here is folded in. And interesting idea from Leah. She was suggesting this reminds us of an accordion, you know, like driving the Citroen C5 Aircross. We have here the hybrid. 195 horsepower and will soon also make a motorway acceleration. First of all, starting here with what you would do also with the hybrid, some city low speed use, then the electric mode is triggered. I can also go to the dedicated electric mode. Would also be possible if I, for example, want to first drain the battery completely, and then, you know, or maybe in most senses this is just fine when you commute to work or something like that. And we have the 20-inch wheels here, together with the standard suspension with hydraulic cushions. See how that combination plays out. And of course now here in the electric mode it's really silent, even though it's picking up a small summer rain shower, so to speak. But that's also of course a part of being on the motorway very soon, that we check out the noise insulation and so on. Some other Citroen C5 Aircross coming towards us. And I gotta say though, even already when we're driving in slow speed here, the throttle input is really sensitive. So you have to be gentle with it, also not to stress your passengers. And also the brake input is very sensitive. So there's first an area where there's hardly anything from the brake, and then suddenly it's really aggressive. And almost the same applies to the throttle. So you really have to learn that, to be really gentle on the throttle, because especially here in the electric mode, it really goes forward quite quickly, although it's not a super acceleration machine like this 8.3 seconds, 0 to 100, but especially then the brake, you know, like here sliding, then suddenly you get like a brake burst. So there's no transition between it. And I'm not sure if this one has to do with the brake blending between the recuperation and the friction brakes. That is sometimes the case for plug-in hybrids, so this is maybe something they can work on here with this vehicle. It also goes a little bit back and forth depending on what you do. So you can also see, I would let it run when you just daily use it, but here now for our review, this is helpful, for example, to see now there's energy coming back to the battery when I'm just rolling, or here when I'm hitting the brakes. When I'm on the throttle again, here from the battery, which is also placed in this lower part, like with the full electric version, from the battery to the wheels. And when I soon hit the throttle even harder, going on the motorway, then we would also see the combustion engine hop on and see about the full acceleration of that one. Steering is light, but also sensitive. There is no dead zone area, so that's actually quite likable. And although we had some speed humps here and so on, it's actually fine. It's easy to control. The suspension is evening out these 20-inch wheels pretty well. So sometimes we have these large wheels on vehicles and then the vehicles really get very uncomfortable. In this case, not at all. So really good job with the suspension to set the emphasis on comfort. And now we can also put it here to the sport mode. Luckily it just started with the rain, the road is not too wet, and they also have quite a rough tarmac here which sucks some of the rain away. Now you can see the combustion engine is also active. It's not that visible though, gotta say that, in the display. And we are here from 50 kilometers an hour, and let's accelerate out, let's go. Woo! Stop. That was 50 to 120. Now we escaped that one rain cloud, and here at 120 kilometers an hour, like 65, 70 miles an hour. It's not too loud, although, as I said, the tarmac is quite rough, so it was more about the rain. Now when the rain is not there, there's no significant wind noise or so coming, so I think it's also good for motorway speeds, like that. And once again, the suspension is really soft and comfortable. And let's see, can I shake it up much? I mean, yeah, you feel that there is no immediate reaction from the car when I put it left and right, especially at some higher speeds. So definitely the strong emphasis on the comfort, and why not? That's a good thing, you know? So if you want a sporty, you would, for example, take the Peugeot 3008 and you have the same tech, but you have this sportier Focus, and here you really feel that the suspension dips in a little bit when you brake hard and so on. But I think that's just an emphasis thing, you know. You can't say the one is good or the one is bad. It's more about what you expect, what you want from the vehicle, and Citroen has this comfort Focus, and this is not a vehicle that you would put to an alpine pass and hunt the next corner and the next corner and so on. It's more like this, yeah, it's really this Citroen heritage. You're floating on the road. I'm really surprised how comfortable it really is, you know. It together, like with the plush seats and the sort of the cushions from the dampers, and although they are the 20-inch wheels, it almost feels like an air suspension. And if you then would stick with the 19-inch wheels, or maybe even if you go for the entry-level version, stick even with the 18-inch wheels, which are not available in the plug-in hybrid and in the full electric version, because there you start with 19-inch wheels. So with the smaller wheels, it would be even softer and even more comfortable. So here's some slalom at 50 kilometers an hour. Maybe you also see that on camera, that we are leaning a little bit in, and also with Leah's legs. So it is not the ideal car to have some, sorry about that, some racing. But the fun is more about going straight and enjoying the comfort with the seats. And actually, there's no dual insulation in the windows, but I think it's fine. It's very well insulated, and enjoying this floaty ride with that suspension. That's actually pretty cool. Here in the hybrid mode, by the way, I went back to that again. You can see here at the moment the engine is shut off again. Maybe you've seen it here in this dual mode. When I go to the sport mode, then it directly also applies some engine brake, and that can also regenerate energy. But here, there was this short moment where blue and white was mixed, that you have power from both. And here at the moment is the combustion engine where you see everything in like white or gray. And then here, when I accelerate, you see here power from both. So interesting to see technology in motion. So that's always a cool thing to see. In most cases, you would probably just leave it in the hybrid mode, let the car do its thing, because even then, when you put it in pin down, then it would also accelerate hard and you hear the engine going on, and then you have also the power of both powertrains. So, but this is here the thing why we do the reviews, that you can really experience the car as close as it is possible to doing the test drive yourself. Also really enjoying this soft touch leatherette steering wheel, high class feeling, and it also adds to this premium ride. So it is one of the very rare cars on the road today which is not set on sportier, but really on comfort, suspension and seating wise. This is the clear emphasis of this vehicle, and we can hardly find anything else on the road at this moment that still has this kind of setup. And that's very interesting. The assistance systems, you can set them here, by the way, on the left side of the steering wheel, adaptive cruise control and so on. You can also change it to a normal speed limiter if you just want to have the limit, or then the adaptive cruise control. So yeah, that's depending then on what you like best. And you might remember here with the hotkey, you can also put in the lane keeping assist or not, depending if you prefer that. And the fuel economy, you always got to say it depends. These numbers look really low, both for energy and fuel consumption, but it's a mixed use. That's why both are low. If you just use one of these, then of course it would be higher, just a single one. So why was I that surprised today, especially about the interior? It's also because of the pricing, because we know Citroen is not in the premium segment, and this vehicle here starts at 34,000 euros. And of course, base trim, no extras, also just the 3-cylinder mild hybrid petrol engine, which is not the strongest one, honestly, yeah, for sure. But I mean, for some cases where you primarily use it in the city, maybe it might even still be enough. And if you really want to take a look at the price, if you go for the plug-in hybrid then, or also the EV versions are also priced similarly, 39,000 euros here for the PHEV, or PHEV as you sometimes say. What do you say for plug-in hybrid? Tell me in the comments. And then this vehicle, as it's spec'd here right now, this is the highest trim level, also with the special leatherette seats and so on, and panoramic roof, dual tone paint, blah, blah, blah. 47,000 euros 500. This is of course not close to the entry-level price, but still, considering what you get for it, like battery size and the quality of the interior and so on, this is still very decent price-performance ratio. So tell me, what do you think about the Citroen C5 Aircross? Really interesting that we still found a car here on the market that has such a comfort focus, whereas everyone else goes in the sportier direction. So it's really a question of what do you want and which emphasis do you prefer? And if you want another emphasis, then you might as well check out the Peugeot 3008, or maybe then the external competition like the Kia Sport.